We now return to A Reckoning of New York. Alright, we're just going to bypass these because I honestly don't see a reason to even do them. I'd see no benefit from them. So the same river twice. If I hit an astronomical level of bad luck, crashing at Pedrick's once more will probably turn me into a sorry pile of ash he'll have to sweep up at sundown, like with a broom. But after all the crap we found out about Reynard, I honestly couldn't care less. Okay, I guess we're taking a risk. I've been trying to get my shit together for the last hour just walking these damn streets of New York. Spoiler alert, it's not working. I don't even know why I told Pedrick to leave me alone. I usually keep people close to stop my brain from going to dark places. Turns out too much me time just lets the shitty feelings take over. And the simple act of putting one foot in front of the other doesn't soothe the anger, the hurt, and the betrayal. These emotions cling to me like leeches, refusing to let go. All that crap, the gestures, the pep talks, our gigs making me think we had a bond, fucking lies, all of it. It just hurts. So yeah, I'm still a mess inside. My gritted teeth keep the dry tears at bay. Right now, I'd seriously rather chew off my own tongue than give Reynard the satisfaction of hearing me sob. Fuck all that. Every part of me is screaming for some kind of release, some justice. I even have this crazy urge to just smash anything about me that reminds me of Reynard. But honestly, what would even be left of me? That dickhead's already met his final death. I swear to God, if I could find his ashes, I'd spit on them. Shit, who am I kidding? I'm just a pathetic loser. I'd probably forgive him in a second if he came back. I'm such a pathetic loser, I'd probably... Even if he doesn't give a damn. Christ, this sucks so much. But, it doesn't matter. The dawn's coming up fast, and it's time to settle down for the day. And I could use some company, even if it means potentially screwing myself over by crashing twice in the same place so soon. A shred of clarity returns to my mind eventually. I find myself glaring at Pedrick's Haven across the street, my hands still trembling from the shitstorm of emotions I'm barely keeping under control. I know I shouldn't be here, shouldn't be risking my ass, but right now I'm so over everything that I seriously don't give a fuck. Should we maybe reconsider? Whatever, knock gently. I lift my hand and tap on the door softly. The noise is so faint it's almost lost in the night. Suddenly the door creaks open and there's Pedrick with an armful of books. He moves quickly, letting me into the safety of his haven. Come in, sun's about to rise. Everything is exactly where it should be, nothing out of place, not even the couch. He didn't oversell it, the couch is definitely still here. I guess it's far too old to sprout legs and walk off. He grins at me, a bit too confident in the quality of his joke. I know it's not stylish, but I'm quite fond of it nevertheless. Let's say it's charmingly dilapidated. Would you rather use the bed tonight? It wouldn't be any. I throw my hand up and immediately cut him off. No, that's okay, just making sure we won't find ourselves in the infamous only one bed situation. Pedrick tilts his head, an unspoken question hanging in the air. I mean, you're into all that bookish stuff. I thought... Never mind, it's nothing, believe me. He nods and goes back to whatever he was sorting on his shelves. I take that as my cue to slip away to the corner of the couch. I'm too tired to speak, which is rare for me. I shut my eyes briefly, fingers tapping restlessly on my legs. It's a futile effort to calm the lingering irritation. My movements only seem to stir it up more. Care to share what's on your mind? Your thoughts are so loud they practically blend in with my voices. No rest for the wicked, huh? Just going through my list of excuses for tomorrow night, because, I'd like to keep my head where it is. Are you thinking of anything in particular? I mean, not really? I don't know. I mean, neither of these is what we're actually thinking about. Not really, but I'm just desperate. I'd like to know your thoughts on it, though. The background noise of shifting books and fluttering pages stops, and the couch sinks with the added weight right next to me. It must be a big damn couch. The Council doesn't have a stellar track record lately when it comes to making rational decisions. However, the web of your sire's connections is extensive, which absolves you of direct involvement. The Council has no reason to put you down. His tone is soothing yet decisive. What happened is not your fault, Kali. I'll stand by you tomorrow, that's a promise. I must look like a hot mess, because Pedrick's expression is one of concern, his brow creased, lips parted, eyes searching mine. He pauses, assessing the moment before carefully invading my personal space. A flicker of total surprise crosses my face before I can mask it. His hand moves behind me, and I hear a soft click as he clasps something in his hand. I almost forgot. You'll make better use of them. Confused, I look down to see what he's handed me. Batteries? For my trusty old Walkman that's been a paperweight for the last 3 nights? It's such a nice gesture, but instead of joy, there's this sad twist in my gut. It feels pointless, like all of it. Right now, picking a tune feels as grim as choosing my last meal. Are you sure you're all right? Nope, I'm a mess. Yeah, everything's fine. Thanks. I guess I'm not really in the mood for music right now. But I really appreciate the thought. I manage a shaky smile, my voice quivering a bit. He nods, totally gets that I need some space, and gives me room to breathe. I flop down on the couch, totally white. I shove 2 batteries into the Walkman and the rest into my belt bag. How many did he have back there? Then my hand brushes against the wooden stake. Its gritty texture, just another shitty reminder of the end I've been dodging night after night. I grip it as if it could scrub away the mix of anger, desperation, and fear brewing like a storm in my chest. I've handled storms before, but this one? It's dark, man. Really dark. Creeping into every freaking shadowy corner of my brain and just sticking there. I grip the stake even harder as the all-too-familiar darkness slowly descends upon my mind. Earlier that night. Really? The night still isn't over? Box News. When you talk about cleansing New York from the so-called rot underneath, Mr. Fletcher, is this a part of your elaborate campaign to position yourself in the incoming mayoral election? Should that be upcoming? It's not about political ambition. It's about addressing issues that have been neglected for far too long. I don't know why I put that awkward pause in there. For far too long, New York is facing challenges that can't be solved by traditional governance alone. I'm talking about deep systemic problems that require unconventional approaches. Unconventional, like claiming you have, quote, enough manpower to clean up the entire city? What exactly does that entail? Because to our viewers, it sounds like a threat of vigilante justice. What I mean by manpower is having the right team with the right skills and dedication. It's not about taking the law into our own hands. It's about supporting the city in ways the current infrastructure can't. What are these deep systemic problems you're so eager to fight? You're being rather vague, Mr. Fletcher. Let's just say there are threats to this city that aren't as visible or as easily quantified as crime rates or economic data. They're far more insidious, and while I can't divulge the specifics, I assure you that you won't have to wait long to see the results of our initiative. Interesting. What group is he with? Mr. Fletcher, with all due respect, it all sounds like the plot of a science fiction novel. How do you expect the public to take you seriously when you speak in riddles? I understand the skepticism. I'm a stalwart believer in transparency, and in due time everything will be made clear. Long after accountability would ever affect me. Right now it's about laying the groundwork for a safer, stronger New York. Now let's be frank, your narrative is stirring more confusion and concern than confidence. Are you really suggesting there's a hidden danger so severe that it requires a controversial character like you to step in and save the day? It's not about me playing the hero, no, it's simply about tackling issues that have been overlooked for far longer than... I'm sorry, Mr. Fletcher, but we're out of time. Thank you for joining us here today. Out in the snowy whatever, but this just in, folks. The Times Square Ball's new color for this New Year's Eve will be announced very soon. I'm sure many of you have been waiting for... Okay. New journal entry. Is that a character's? Are we going to learn about this Fletcher fellow? Be easier to find out if that was a last name. No, it does not seem to be anything in here. So it must be a logbook, huh? With all the crap we found on Raidard, I'm simply glad at least Pedric's still by my side. End of the night. Night 5. Usually, the first thing that hits me when I blink awake is this boundless black void staring at me the same way I stare into its perfect nothingness. It disappears in a beat, and all I'm left with is this nagging thought that I missed something important. I never wake up groggy. I'm wired as soon as the sun dips, like I've been faking sleep all day. Not this night, though. Tonight, exhaustion floods in, overwhelming me like a tsunami. I feel buried alive, suffocated under the weight of the murky water. I can't spend another day in Pedric's Haven. Staying here 2 nights in the same week is really pushing it. Not that I'm counting on having the chance to, given that it's what's in my schedule. Strangely, I'm kind of getting used to this pad. It's no Ritz, but it's got this vibe of safety that I'm low-key desperate for. Pedric's up already, and I hate to admit it, but having him around isn't as awful as I initially thought. He's just there, lost in the gritty view of the Bronx, playing with his ring like he always does when something's bugging him. I take a quick look past him, at the murky, starless sky. Then a memory crashes in, uninvited. It wasn't long after my embrace, like about a year ago. We had this wild gig out in Nevada, nothing to get sentimental about, but we were road tripping in 2 RVs, me and Reynard in the lead, and the rest of our gang tailing us. Completely out of nowhere, Reynard grabs the wheel and veers us straight into the desert, leaving the others far behind. We come to a stop in no time, and Reynard's already bouncing out and scaling the RV to get to the roof. And I'm like, what the actual hell? He just pulls me up there with him. Like, out the window, or... And wow, just wow, this absolute darkness with the sky so thick with stars it could make anyone feel dizzy, I swear to God. I could have kept on loving that life, drifting from state to state with my gang, my family. But everything's gone to hell because of Reynard. So why do I have to be the one paying for all this shit, or for his shit? I should probably read what it says, and why can't I even bring myself to hate him? I pound my fists into the couch. Dust swirls up from the cushions, floating eerily in the dim candlelight. Let's go. Probably waiting for us already. Let's get this over with. Easy for you to say. Yeah, there's no point dragging this out and pissing them off even more. Nothing to do but get my shit together and pray that Lady Luck has my back. Still, it's hard for me to move. It's like I'm glued to the couch. The silence fills the room with all that is unspoken. Wow. Then his voice, soft and almost imperceptible, cuts through the veil. Listen, here comes the pity party. If you're going to start with that, Kali, calm down and hear me out. Just this once, without interrupting. The shift in tone, it's enough to make me zip my lip. It says a lot. Look, I can't promise you a rosy outcome. No pep talk either. You're too clever for that. What I can promise is that I'll be there for you and do my best to convince the council to let you go. I just nod, kind of dazed. His words, so raw and sincere, anchor me to this moment more than ever, providing a strange sort of comfort. So, are you ready? Not really. Yeah, let's just go. We head to the perfectly serviceable car in silence. Not gonna lie, I'm gonna miss this old clunker and Pedrick's bizarre attachment to it. I shut the door behind me and slump into the seat, too anxious to fill the silence with my usual ramblings. I know it could have been worse, but damn, even though I haven't turned into a pile of ash, I feel worn out as if I've been buried alive yesterday. I wonder if that is, like a legit... Oh, there actually was an entry. Brianna Landy, nosy interviewer. A journalist from a radical New York broadcasting station, she has a knack for uncovering the most juicy bombshells, skillfully dividing and conquering her audience to gain maximum attention. Okay, well that... If she's in here, surely the other guy was in here. I just overlooked him. Where was she? Huh. No, but maybe he'll make a comeback. Maybe we'll be? I don't know. Bad omens. Catching up with my favorite council at Elysium tonight. I'm scared shitless, but there's nothing to be done about it. I gotta march right into the lion's den. I just hope Pedrick stands by me like he said he would. We drive mostly in silence, which suits me just fine. Guess there's not much left unsaid at this point. And really, not much I want to talk about either. Pedrick pulls up a few blocks shy of the Elysium and parks in an alleyway shadowed by half-finished apartment buildings. It looks truly desolate. Why are we stopping here? The art hole is a couple blocks down. A little walk might do us good. Clear the cobwebs a little. What do you say? I just nod. Not like walking's going to change a damn thing, but maybe it'll make me, or help me steel my nerves for whatever's waiting at the end of this trek. Why are we doing this, Pedrick? The walk is quiet, just the crunch of snow underfoot and the looming skeletons of buildings around us, their empty window frames like open mouths howling at the city. They remind me of dead trees, all hollow and eerie as shit. Feels like I'm a character in some cheesy horror movie who gets a particularly shitty kind of afterlife. The irony isn't lost on me. Deep in my gloomy thoughts, I almost missed the sound of heated voices from one of the sites. Who the fuck does construction at this hour? Pedrick's face grows even more serious than normal. Any stonier, and they're going to canonize him as the patron saint of grumpiness. Shh, this way. He tugs me kind of forcefully next to a fence and motions for me to take a closer look at the source of the noise. He's fidgeting with his ring again, which is never a good sign. Peeking out, I see 3, probably mortals, in beat-up clothes chatting animatedly, like they're plotting something. Great, a bunch of thieves or just idiots betting who can haul off a T-bar. Big deal. Let's keep moving. Hanging around here isn't exactly helping me. I'm not sure they're just thieves, Cully. As he says that, I catch a glimpse of a handgun peeking out from one of the guy's belts. My eyes narrow, searching out more details. They're tense, ready to snap. And one dude is wearing he is wearing what damn well looks like a Kevlar vest under his jacket. They could be undercover, maybe DEA on a stakeout? I doubt they're the feds, either. You think? Hunters. Probably a scouting party. It's close to Elysium? Fuck. We spy on them when the scratchy sound of a radio cuts the silence short. I can't hear the words, but they immediately dash into the building, their steps echoing up the stairs. I look over at Pedrick, his fingers busy twirling his ring like it's got answers. Who knows, maybe it does. So do I. Let's go after them. I'm not sure. Oh, please, you've already made up your mind. Your face screams conundrum loud and clear. Right. I have a bad feeling about this. We should uncover what they're up to. I nod and head toward the building, my every move cautious and calculated. Pedrick follows, silent as the grave. We zip up 10, 12, 15 floors in a blink, tailing the hunters, melding into the shadows as we go. The higher we climb, the louder the wind howls, whistling through the unfinished windows. Soon we come to a vast open area that's still under construction and swiftly crouch behind a half-finished wall. The 3 hunters we followed are joined by a few others, one clutching a radio and posing like he's the boss. I take a quick look around to get the lay of the land, and... Holy shit, quiet. Scattered among the wires and building tools, there's a brightly lit table piled with maps and a battered laptop displaying a stream of text, commands, perhaps. There's military equipment everywhere, assault rifles, Kevlar vests, night vision goggles, and notably, a massive sniper rifle on a bipod pointed at the street below. I lower my voice to a whisper. We need to get the hell out of here now. If this is SAD, if there are more of them... They're not the feds, I'm telling you. They're well equipped, but all of this screams paramilitary to me. So what's our play? He rises slowly, tense as a predator, ready to pounce. Stay low. It'll only take a moment. In a flash, Pedrick darts toward the nearest hunter. A gruesome crunch echoes as he smashes the man's head. The rest snap out of their daze, moving sluggishly as if in slow motion, but Pedrick is already whispering something under his breath. I catch maybe half of the words escaping his mouth, all of them mundane, direct, normal, but every single one of them makes me want to dunk my head underwater to escape their soft, incessant onslaught. I do the next best thing and just cover my ears, thinking about the best steps to be taken. Well, the unseen passage. I should help him. I mean, yes, I guess. I let the crisp, wintry air wrap around me, enveloping my body head to toe, making the hunter's glance slide off me like I'm Ms. Cellophane. Once I'm fully hidden, I scan the room quickly to size up the situation. Pedrick flings the bloodied body of one of the hunters through the air, knocking 2 of his companions down. Scores 3 with 1 throw. Impressive. That's 4 down. Where's the last one? The room falls silent, the threat seemingly under control for the moment. Pedrick is on an adrenaline... I don't know why I'm having so much trouble enunciating. Pedrick is on an adrenaline rush and barely notices his surroundings. I dart across the room and spot the final hunter, crouched behind a pillar, taser at the ready, poised to strike. I sneak up silently, and just as she jumps out to attack, I knock her arm upward, directing the taser towards her face. The needles fire with a sharp click, burrowing under her own skin, the electricity sending her into convulsions. She collapses, losing her grip on the weapon. I press my boot onto her neck and hold, just in case. Pedrick comes over, still pumped from the fight, as I step out of the shadows. I told you to stay back. Screw that, I'm not just sitting back while you hog all the action. He smirks slightly, but there's little joy on his face. The flicker of the laptop screen on the table catches our attention, but that's not the real prize. It's the pile of documents spread across the table, blueprints and maps aggressively annotated with a Sharpie. A closer look reveals a very detailed layout of the art hole and its immediate surroundings. Pedrick and I lean over the table, exchanging wary glances. Damn, they've mapped out everything. They know the art hole inside out, down to the last screw. Seemed like they've been at this for weeks. Suddenly, through a gap in the wall, I spot some movement on the roof of the building next door. I might have overlooked it if not for the flashlight beam slicing through the darkness. I spring into action and grab the sniper rifle propped by the window, sweeping the gun from side to side. I peer through the scope, surveying the entire neighborhood. What do you see? Hunters. Loads of them, all over the fucking shop. Several other surveillance squads are spread out around us, all focusing on Elysium, forming a tight net, effectively sealing off the art hole's perimeter. Jesus, it's completely surrounded. Every damn corner swarming with hunters. I jerk away from the scope, which clatters against the rough windowsill. What the hell do we do now? I must alert the council immediately. Just then, the crack of a walkie-talkie cuts through the tension. Crackle. I snatch it up, straining to hear the faint voices through the static. All units, take your positions. Lightbringer, confirm your spot. We move on your signal. It's harvest time, brothers and sisters. Drive out the darkness. Over. All hands on deck. Let's teach these fucking leeches a lesson. Over. I glance at Pedric, but he's frozen in place, completely shell-shocked. Don't just stand there, damn it, move! We bolt from the building. It takes me a good minute of high-speed sprint before I realize I'm still clutching the walkie-talkie. Not a single hunter along the way. It's like Lady Luck smiling on us. Or maybe it's Pedric's voices who are leading us unscathed around all the patrols. What did that just say? Didn't just say... something? Save? I don't know. We reach the entrance of Elysium in no time. I'm fixated on the door, noticing the red thermal light is going or is off. A good sign there's no immediate danger. Suddenly, I'm shoved inside, or shoved aside. Fuck. Suddenly, I'm shoved aside. I land hard on my ass, just in time to see one of Valerie's thugs blocking the door. The hell you think you're doing? You enter on my say-so. Pedric reaches down to help me, but I'm already on my feet, driven by pure unbridled rage. Get the fuck out of my way. I try to push past him, but he's like a brick wall. Stubborn, immovable fucking object. What's your fucking problem? You go in before he can finish, a fist with glittering rings that lands squarely on his face, smashing him back against the wall. I shoot Pedric a look. He's fuming. Perfect. We exchange a glance and charge into the art hole, my caretaker hot on my heels. Our entrance stops the incessant debating dead in its tracks. Jaws hit the floor, eyes widen, but the only thing I really notice is the murderous look the sheriff throws our way. I nearly trip over my own feet, but somehow regain my balance and end up on my knees. A quick glance tells me the room hasn't changed much since my last visit, except for the notable absence of the Anarch Baron. What on earth is this intrusion? You cannot possibly... This is hardly an appropriate entrance for one whose fate is so precarious, Rapnose. All they need to do is listen. Just fucking listen. They're the hunt... Kadir, shall we just skip the trial? She's obviously courting final death here. Everyone just shut the hell up for 1 second. They obviously have a reason. Esteemed counsel, please, you must listen to... I feel a harsh grip on my arm, wrenching it back painfully. Can't they just shut up for one... You both are going to regret this. What are your plans for dealing with this, Sheriff? In my domain? Unacceptable. Valerie, seize them. Enough. His voice slices through the chaos, commanding instant silence. Pedric seizes the moment to push Valerie's thug off me, none too gently. Sheriff Lee lets the moment linger, soaking it up until the last whisper dies down. Then he holds it a bit longer before breaking it like a vow. You've let your raven fly, Conroy. His words carry the weight of impending doom, heavy with promised violence. You better have a good reason for this disruption. Exceptionally good. Would we storm in here if... Sheriff, it's the hunters. There's a swarm of them, armed to the teeth. They're advancing on Elysium. We saw them. My shout bounces off the walls, and suddenly everyone's too stunned to speak. The silence drags on and on. Should this prove to be yet another one of your schemes, Raven, I swear this is preposterous. There's simply no conceivable way that... You're all completely out of your fucking minds. Just listen to her. Their ears are closed, sealed shut. They're too fucking obstinate, too damn set in their old tired ways. It's nothing but endless prattle with them, the constant yapping of those drunk on their own authority. Blind, so deliberately blind to the actual dangers lurking beyond. We're screwed, every last one of us. Lightbringer, the BFB is ready for launch. Countdown imminent. Over. Did the man name this fucking thing, or what? Pedric gives me a look, eyeing the walkie-talkie in my hand. Of course. I straighten up and slam the walkie-talkie down on their oversized, ludicrously grand table. The quarreling stops. They're all ears now, listening to the hunter's comms. This is Lightbringer. We're green for launch. Initiating countdown. 10, 9... Holy shit, they're actually going to... The sheriff twitches, as if breaking out of a suspended animation. Understanding blooms on his face like blood on broken skin. Evacuate the premises now. Everyone, go! Go! Just like that, it finally clicks for them. But it's already too late. 6, 5... I bolt. No idea where to. Just following the mob in some desperate hope that 3, 2... The last image seared into my memory is Pedric's face, just before 1... Timing could be a little bit better on this. It's kind of awkward. A desert rave, flames licking the sky like a cosmic joke. I dance as if the fire could burn away the fringe of my expanding self. But ash is just the ghost of fire. Those moments are so distant now, a festival of fire and freedom. What does a kindred seek in the flames? Redemption? Destruction? Or reckoning? Of New York? Reality, dark as the blood I crave yet shun. It tastes like metal, like rust. Clack, clack, clack. The fire, like hunger, like survival. That game we all play. All but flies, flips, fleeting. Here, now, surrounded by the fire of my own disconnection, pixels of dark, dark, oh so very dark web. Every bite a story of deception, every link a chain to another false promise. The digital haze impenetrable, but even codes have their breakpoints. As do I. Kali. His voice, serpent slick, sugar-coated daggers wrapped in velvet, the maker of my illusions, the puppeteer dangling me on a string of silken lies, but aren't we all mirrors of our own deceits, reflecting back the lies we've so carefully curated, a firestorm of half-truths and whole falsehoods? So what are we, if not the secrets we keep? Kali. I'm here. I'm still here. What? Run. I remember now. Oh shit. Pedric's urgent pull on my arm jolts me from my trance. He's hauling me away from the remains of what once stood as the jewel in the crown of New York's Camarilla. Anything new? Tried to warn the council about those hunters Pedric and I ran into on our way to the art hole. I swear I did. He just wouldn't listen. Now the countdown's over. All I can feel is pain. All I can see is pitch-black darkness, and all I can hear is deafening silence. Elysium is now just a husk, its grandeur swallowed by ferocious flames that smother the desperate screams of those who fled the havoc. Thick smoke spirals into the night sky, fiercely tearing at the air around it. I could stand here for hours, watching the whole place turn to ash. Kali, snap out of it. Clack, clack, clack. Yeah, that thing. The sudden, close sound of gunfire serves as a brutal wake-up call. Yeah. We launch into a mad sprint. Pedric is slightly ahead, gripping my hand way too tightly. He looks mostly unscathed, just a few scratches here and there. Stinging pain in my cheek finally registers. I run my fingers over it and find a deep gash, but aside from that, I seem to be okay too. We pass by Arturo, who is half carrying a barely conscious Prince Bernard. He shoots us a hateful glare before sprinting off. The sharp rattle of an assault rifle echoes just behind them. A few bullets whiz by, damn near grazing my ear. We're about to duck around the next corner when our luck runs out. A hunter, barely a few feet away, levels his rifle at us. Goddamn abominations! I recognize him. He's the sole survivor from that mob that went after the serpents. Didn't we hand him a grenade and send him on his way or something? Sensory gave him a fucking grenade, and and a decisive order to set it off at his headquarters. A miracle he didn't blow himself to hell. He hesitates, lowering his gun slightly. I know y'all. You goddamn leeches, I remember you. Pedric crouches, fangs bared, poised to strike at any moment. I mirror his stance, ready to spring. What you did to me, you witch? You had me craving, searching for your kind, begging. Why don't we just kill him while he's in the middle of his diatribe there? He snaps the rifle up, now aiming right between my eyes, following my movements closely. But I held back. I resisted. You don't own me. My brain's in overdrive, seething, every fiber of my being just itching to see his blood. Not even to drink it, but to shred and tear. Make him watch his own heart thump one last time in my hand. I mean, I guess this is about the only thing we got left. May as well use it. Daunt. Scare him. Will he be scared this time, though? I don't know. But it's probably better than either of those two. I fix my eyes on him and snarl, channeling all my fury. I can almost hear his heart miss a beat, but he forces down the panic. He clutches his weapon like a lifeline, using it as a barrier between us, and holds his ground. Y'all are nothing but sick, twisted monsters. We're gonna scrub the world clean of your filth. I mean, why haven't we killed him at this point? His words turn into a choked gurgle as a curved blade cleaves him in two, slicing through from neck to guts as smoothly as cutting through butter. His weapon falls to the ground with a metallic clang. One side of his body flops over first, and the rest of the hunter hits the snow, blood spewing out like a macabre fountain. And at last, we see his executioner. Kadir. I lift my eyes. His blood-streaked face is horrifying, anger etched deep, his bared fangs elongated. He looks right through me as if I'm just another body to slash through, tear apart, and crush like a spoiled apple. Pedrick notices it too, because he steps right in front of me. "We are not your enemy, Sheriff." Kadir cocks his head as if he cannot grasp the meaning behind the words. There's a primal edge to him, an untamed frenzy that seems to feed on something dark and ravenous. Those eyes, those scary empty eyes, they belong to the beast. Gunfire snaps all of us back to reality. Without uttering a word, Kadir leaps into an alley like a feral cat, ready to mangle anything that dares stand in his way. The moment stretches into what feels like forever. And Pedrick taps my shoulder and nods towards Julia as she steps out of the art hole's crumbling facade with Aisling slung over her shoulder. She hands the limp body to Valerie, who appears right behind her. Valerie hurries past us and slips into an alley. Julia, with one arm dangling uselessly, walks up to us. "Are you idiots really just going to stand there?" "No, obviously not. The north exit's blocked, and those assholes are pushing in from the Bronx. Conroy, do you know about our safe spot in Greenpoint?" "I don't think so, no." We only hear the thundering boom of a moment after the ground between us explodes in a shower of debris. Frantically, we scan our surroundings for the shooter, to no avail. "Fuck, we need to split up. You two make for Williamsburg. Someone will pick you up there." "Move it, now!" She vanishes into the shadows, leaving only the fading sound of her footsteps. Another loud explosion rumbles and a gunshot cracks as we attempt to sneak away from our hiding spot. That's when I spot the shooter, betrayed by a stray glint from their scope, perched on a rooftop down the street, prepping their next shot. But it never comes. Instead, a dog appears out of thin air and lunges at the sniper. Its jaws clamp onto their neck, throwing them off balance. They stumble and fall off the roof. And just as suddenly, the dog is gone. Holy fuck, did you see that? I did. It might have been a gangrel, though. Although, let's talk about that later. Think about that later. Without wasting any more time, we duck into the dark alleys. Anything to get away from this madness. The relentless echo of gunfire fades, now replaced by the distant, mournful wail of police sirens. As we move, my instincts kick in hard, prompting me to sweep the rooftops, windows, and alleyways for threats. There's no immediate danger, actually. The streets are eerily deserted, as if everyone could sense the looming peril. But the air is still thick with tension. We should get moving. Yeah. We run in silence, Pedrick and I, our movements synchronized as though we'd rehearsed this escape countless times. We're supposed to be the predators of the night, and now here we are, the prey, driven by the fear of being hunted. Echoes of agonizing screams still haunt my ears. I can't tell if they're real or just figments of my imagination. As we sprint through a seemingly safe alley, the faint smell of burning gasoline hits my nose. The smell intensifies when we round the corner, mingling with the fading glow of a fire in a trash can. Then I trip, sprawling face first into the slush. I push myself up and see that my hands are coated in a mix of melted snow, dirt, and blood. I look up, eyes adjusting to the dim light. The alley is strewn with bodies, hunters judging by their gear. It's deathly quiet. Shit, it's like a grinder ran through them. Who? I do not know, but we need to find another way. Something not right here. That's when I hear a strained grunt, then an ominous whoosh through the air. I glance up just in time to see a Molotov cocktail flying straight at us from a window above. Pedrick, focused on the carnage around us, doesn't see it coming. Oh fuck. Time crawls to a stop. Shove Pedrick away? Catching it mid-flight I don't think is going to work. I mean, it's kind of a daredevil maneuver, though, isn't it? Well, if I see it, at least, I know it's coming. Shove him away. I crouch and launch myself with all my strength at Pedrick, now looking up, his eyes wide in alarm, hoping to shove him out of harm's way. Despite a smaller frame, I slam into him hard enough to knock him over like a rag doll. We both skid into a wall several yards away, narrowly escaping the flames that are now devouring the alley and the dead hunters. A pungent aroma of charred flesh strikes my nostrils, permeating the alleyway within seconds. Gasping, trying to regain my composure, Pedrick is already up and looking for the bastard who nearly turned us into ashes. Then a sharp, anguished cry pierces the air, followed by the crash of breaking glass. The hunter tumbles out of the window and hits the ground with the broken bones. Hits the ground with broken bones, not with the He's followed by a dark, bloodied figure that lands elegantly beside him. Oh, of course. Valerie grabs the hunter by the throat, hoisting him up before biting deeply into his neck. She drinks ravenously, her victim's body spasming under her grip until it finally goes limp, the last twitches fading into stillness. Valerie? She doesn't answer, still on a high from feeding. I mean, it's probably what we should have done, too, seeing how, Without a word, she spins around and disappears into a nearby building. Moments later, she emerges carrying an unconscious Aisling. Only now do I see just how bad Aisling's injuries are. She lost the lower half of both legs, her left arm has been ripped off, and her neck is savagely torn up. She's covered in vast, ugly burns. Up close, it's horrifying. You're a natural-born distraction, little raven. Yeah, chaos always seems to find me. I sneak a peek at Pedric. He can't take his eyes off Aisling's wrecked body, like it's digging up some traumatic memory. Valerie notices it, too. She won't be waking up from torpor anytime soon, I'm afraid. What happened? Is this their doing? He waves his hand around the alleyway, gesturing at the obliterated remains of the hunters. No, she happened to be at the center of the explosion alongside Addison. It's a miracle she wasn't instantly shredded. Pain? Valerie shrugs. There's nothing left of him, though we hardly had time for a thorough search. Without another word, Valerie starts to walk away. We're heading to Williamsburg. Valerie stops briefly and looks back at us through her unkempt mop of red hair. Excellent. Then she sprints off, her figure silhouetted against the flickering flames as she vanishes into the darkness. Pedric shoots me a weary glance. I just nod, too. Wired to chat. Come on, we have a lot of ground to cover. After a half-hour march, we take a break near an abandoned dump amid rubble and crumbling walls. I slump against a chain fence, mustering what little energy I have left, when I catch Pedric giving me a vacant stare. What's up? Got something on my face? That was sharp thinking earlier. You're quick on your feet. His compliment earns him a half-smirk from me. Yeah, try walking a mile in my boots. You'd stop second-guessing shit real fast. He chuckles and I join in. We're laughing like lunatics, the adrenaline making even this lame joke hilarious. I guess we both need a break from the endless doom. But the break is all too short. A scream from the direction of the dump shatters the calm. I recognize the voice instantly, and Pedric's grimace tells me he does too. Julia. We rush to the dump, eyes peeled for threats, and only slow down once Julia's voice becomes clear. She's swearing furiously at someone, her voice tinged with pain. Standing over Julia is a strange figure, an older man, straight out of a tackier era. Snug jeans, leather jacket, and a ridiculous mustache. Oddly, he's also wearing a priest's collar, and holding a double-barreled shotgun. For some reason, just the sight of him sends a shiver down my spine, making me want to flee. It's a familiar terror, the kind I felt with that North Korean missionary, that deep, all-consuming fear that fully numbs your will. Julia sprawled on the ground, a combat knife pinning her limp arm, while the hunter's shotgun presses brutally against her throat. Despite her exhaustion, she clumsily reaches for a cigarette with her free hand. Her voice is gritty, but quivers as she speaks. Be a good sport and help me out. I've earned one last drag at least. You know, those things will kill you. Hilarious. Do they teach you that wit in the seminary, or does it come naturally? His movements are slow, calculated, almost serene as he lights Julia's cigarette for her. Something's not right about this guy. We should... Yes, but let's bide our time. The right moment will come. The hunter's presence is ridiculously oppressive. I can't even move. My limbs frozen with fear. I catch Pedric's eye, and he looks rattled, too, as he fiddles nervously with his ring. Should I run through a comedy routine of my sins while we wait? No need. They're beyond redemption. There's no sin where there's no soul. Oh, Father, I am sinful in more ways than you can imagine. Father, I left the clergy a long time ago. Now I follow a different calling. One that has truly deepened my faith, far beyond what the Holy Sacrament could achieve. Well, isn't that a fucking relief? Julia draws deeply on her cigarette, stalling for time. The hunter watches, irritation flickering across his face before he suddenly flicks the cigarette out of her hand. I pity you, creature, like so many others I've dealt with, but there's nothing that can't be cleansed with holy fire. I have just the remedy. He opens up the shotgun and puts a peculiar orange shell from his pocket, the letters DB. Actually, it said P on there, marked clearly on its surface. Consider this an act of mercy. Save me the fucking lecture and just get on with it, will you? The hunter stands, methodically ejects the old shell from his weapon and prepares to load the orange one. I want to leap up, to shout, to stop him, but I can't. I'm paralyzed, rooted to the spot in terror. But Pedric suddenly stands, his voice cutting through the tension. You won't do it. I forbid you. The hunter stops as if struck by lightning, shotgun only half loaded, his wild eyes locking with Pedric's determined gaze. Leave her. Now. His voice booms, echoing with a thunderous authority that even I feel compelled to obey. The hunter steps back from Julia, slowly, as if controlled by some unseen force. Did Pedric's command actually work? Then in one fluid motion, the hunter draws a six-shooter. The crack of gunfire shatters the eerie silence. I watch in agonizing slow motion as Pedric collapses. I'm unable to reach out and stop the inevitable. Time holds its breath, trapping me in this surreal nightmare where the only truth is the pain of seeing my friend fall. Everything fades to a blur except for that piercing ache. And rage, a raw, incandescent fury that defies all odds. I have been given another point. Well, I may as well not spread it out further. Obfuscate allows kindred to hide easily, move without being noticed, and divert the eyes of observers. Presence, the ability to influence emotions in others or distract or terrify. Well, honestly, I think obfuscate has come up more often than presence. But I feel like maybe against tough enemies we would need this. There are options for animalism, but we're not allowed even to put it on there, okay? Well, so it's either going to have to be hide and keep moving or presence. Well, I mean, for a Ravnos, the whole idea is that we get the fuck out, right? But I feel like if I put it in here, like this seems to be giving me a choice. If I put it in here, does this mean I save myself? And I put it here, maybe I can help Pedric by overcoming the hunter? Put it in presence. Hunger decreases. Oh, okay. Well, how convenient. I didn't think it would just do that on its own. After 20 minutes of pushing through the street in heavy silence, Pedric is the first to speak. So, just to clarify, the hunter was so terrified of you that he ran under... I got it right. The hunter was so terrified of you that he ran under a truck? I shrugged nonchalantly, adjusting my hold on Julia. She's limping between us, supported by her shoulders, clearly still suffering from her ordeal with the maniac. Oh, cut the bullshit. Modesty is not a good look on you. I don't fucking know, okay? It just happened. I just glared at that guy and channeled all my high school angst right at him. It's not completely true, and they know it. That priest was so full of conviction, this blind, all-encompassing faith that was almost more than we could handle. When Pedric got shot, something I didn't know was within me suddenly awoke from its slumber. I must have looked fucking terrifying, and honestly, I felt like a giant compared to that puny hunter. The moment I unleashed my wrath in a guttural roar, he dropped his weapon and bolted, tripping over himself to get away from me. That's precisely what went down. Julia and I heard it, but Pedric missed it. The sudden screech of tires followed by a loud, fleshy thud that marked the hunter's premature rapture. But they don't need to learn the behind-the-scenes of it all. They? Are we only talking about Pedric being the only one to have missed that? Cully, that's twice you've saved us tonight. I'm at a loss for words. Yeah, whatever, don't sweat it. Look at you two and your domestic bliss. Disgusting. Move it, we're nearly there. We accompanied Julia all the way to Williamsburg without any further trouble. But as we reach the safe house, instead of relief, a new kind of unease raises the hair on my neck. Like I've just made a grave mistake. Oh no. New journal entry. Seems to have been several. The absolute chaos that ensued. Julia, Pedric. Shit, it's a miracle we made it without getting wiped out. Guess what? The night's far from over. Hooray. Single-minded hunter. The moment he encountered the inexplicable, he vowed to hunt it until his dying breath. Sacrificing his old life, he began searching for others like him. Wasn't he part of a group that was already like him? Who were the people? Anyway, people who felt the same burning rage against the abominable. Eventually, he formed a hunter cell under his leadership, which became one of the groups that joined the hunter offensive's greater purpose. And the zealous hunter, true faith bearer, a former priest who lost his faith in the church but discovered a deeper, more meaningful purpose, a true divine calling, one that radiates outwards, instilling dread in the still hearts of vampires. His true faith gives him a unique perspective, viewing the hunting of vampires as an act of mercy. From the kindred perspective, however, it makes little difference how their deliverer justifies his murderous intent. And I think we'll call it good. I'll see you next time.